Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The Battle of Badr in light of Qur'an. In Ramadan, 2 years after the Hijrah, one of the most decisive battles of Islam, which would become known as the Criterion between truth and falsehood, was fought. Those who fought alongside the Prophet ﷺ in this battle would become known as the greatest of the Prophet's companions, with their names ever being marked with divine approval. This was the Battle of Badr. Quranic and historic significance. The Battle of Badr does not only have historic significance, but on account of the verses of the Qur'an being revealed regarding it and its participants, it forms part of Islamic belief. The caravan. A caravan led by Abu Sufyan was returning from Syria, and much of the wealth it carried had been accrued from property of the Muslims, which they were forced to leave behind when migrating to Medina. It carried 50,000 dinars, gold coins, and was going to pass relatively close to Medina. It was a tempting target and would provide a potentially heavy economic, political, and military setback that was bound to shake the entire structure of the Meccan polytheists. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam thus exhorted the Muslims to prepare a small force to capture the caravan, which would make up for their property and wealth they were forced to give up in Mecca. The Muslim army. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam did not give strict instructions for everyone to join, thinking that it would be a small raid. So some 313 Sahaba, 83 Muhajirin and 230 Ansar marched out with the Prophet ﷺ. They were not heavily armed, with just 2 Sahaba on horseback, Sayyiduna Zubair and Sayyiduna Miqdad radiyallahu anhuma, and just 70 camels which the Sahaba took turns riding. The caravan escapes. The Mushrikeen scouts soon learnt of this movement and informed Abu Sufyan of the Muslims' intention to intercept this caravan. Abu Sufyan immediately switched roads and wrote to the Meccans, calling them to his aid. Abu Sufyan managed to escape unscathed, but now a fully prepared army of 1,000 men was marching from Mecca to attack the small Muslim regiment. Hesitation for battle. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam heard of these new developments, he consulted with his Sahaba. Since they were unprepared for a battle of this nature, some were apprehensive about facing the enemy in open battle. Some insisted they return to Medina and only face the enemy when they were better prepared. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks of this in the noble Qur'an. كَمَا أَخْرَجَكَ رَبُّكَ مِنْ بَيْتِكَ بِالْحَقِّ وَإِنَّ فَرِيقًا مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ لَكَارِهُونَ. Just as when your Lord brought you out of your home for the battle of Badr in truth, while indeed a party among the believers were unwilling. However, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam then exhorted his men, informing them of the gravity of the situation. This army, left to proceed unimpeded, had the potential of proceeding directly to Medina. The casualties then would be far worse, and the women and children also now at risk. Unwavering support of the Sahaba. Abu Bakr radiyallahu an was the first to rise and assure Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam of their unreserved obedience to his command. Next was Umar radiyallahu an, and third was Miqdad, who said, O Rasul of Allah, proceed where Allah directs you to, for we are with you. We will not say as the Banu Israel said to Musa, Go you and your Lord and fight. We will stay here. Rather, we shall say, go you and your Lord and fight, and we will fight along with you. This pleased Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam immensely, but he wanted to hear from the Ansar as well. So Sayyiduna Sa'ad bin Mu'adh radiyallahu an stood up and said, O Prophet of Allah, we believe in you and we bear witness to what you have vouchsafed to us, and we declare in unequivocal terms that what you have brought is the truth. We give you our firm pledge of obedience and sacrifice. We will obey you most willingly in whatever you command us, and by Allah who has sent you with the truth, if you were to ask us to plunge into the sea, we will do that most readily, and not a man of us will stay behind. We do not grudge the idea of encounter with the enemy. We are experienced in war and we are trustworthy in combat. We hope that Allah will show you through our hands those deeds of valor which will please your eyes. Kindly lead us to the battlefield in the name of Allah. The day of Furqan. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam was elated by the unshaken devotion of his companions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informs his Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, وَإِذْ يَعِدُكُمُ اللَّهُ إِحْدَى الطَّائِفَتَيْنِ أَنَّهَا لَكُمْ وتودون أن غير ذات الشوكة تكون لكم ويريد الله أن يحق الحق بكلماته ويقطع دابر الكافرين. Remember, O believers, when Allah promised you one of the two groups that it would be yours, and you wished that the unarmed one would be yours, but Allah intended to establish the truth by His words and to eliminate the disbelievers. Allah had promised the Sahaba either the wealth of the caravan or victory in battle. They had hoped that the confrontation would be with the caravan, which would be an easy task. But Allah wished for the truth to be established and falsehood eliminated. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam and the Sahaba made their way to Badr to meet the mushrikeen in the first battle of Islam. This day would become known as the day of Furqan, the decider between truth and falsehood. Mercy descends. Tired and weary after an arduous journey, Allah's mercy descended on them. إذ يغشيكم النعاس أمنة منه وينزل عليكم من السماء ماء ليطهركم به ويذهب عنكم رجز الشيطان وليربط على قلوبكم ويثبت به الأقدام. Remember when He overwhelmed you with drowsiness, giving security from Him, and sent down upon you from the sky rain by which to purify you and remove from you the evil suggestions of shaitan, and to make steadfast your hearts and plant firmly thereby your feet. On the eve of battle, Allah sent tranquility and peace upon the believers, allowing them to sleep soundly and arise well rested for the next day. For the believers, it was a blessing. It purified them and removed from them the evil of shaitan. Their hearts were strengthened and they were imbued with courage. Promise of victory. The night before the battle, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam cried to Allah to grant them victory. O Allah, should this group of Muslims be defeated today, you will no longer be worshipped on the earth. Allah comforted His beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the believers, giving them glad tidings of victory and assistance of the angels. إذ تستغيثون ربكم فاستجاب لكم أني ممدكم بألف من الملائكة مردفين وما جعله الله إلا بشرى ولتطمئن به قلوبكم وما النصر إلا من عند الله إن الله عزيز حكيم. Remember when you asked help of your Lord, and He answered you, "Indeed, I will reinforce you with 1,000 from the angels following one another." And Allah made it not but good tidings, and so that your hearts would be assured thereby. And victory is not but from Allah. Indeed, Allah is exalted in might and wise. Eternally memorialized in Qur'an. Unique deeds of valor, deep devotion and full obedience to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam were exhibited on that day. Paragons of virtue and sacrifice who will continue to be praised by those who believe in the Qur'an and the words of His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah showered His praise upon these Sahaba, referring to them as the true believers. إن الذين آمنوا والذين هاجروا وجاهدوا في سبيل الله والذين آووا ونصروا أولئك هم المؤمنون حقا لهم مغفرة وأجر كريم. Those who have believed and emigrated and fought in the cause of Allah, and those who gave shelter and aided, it is they who are the true believers. For them is forgiveness and noble provision. Praise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Sahaba radiyallahu anhum who participated in the Battle of Badr are regarded as the most virtuous of all the Sahaba. Their virtue has been expounded in many authentic narrations. Jibreel alayhi salam once asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "What status do you give to the participants of Badr?" The Prophet ﷺ replied, "They are the most excellent of all Muslims." Jibreel ﷺ added, "And so too are the angels who participated in Badr regarded as the most excellent." And Nabi ﷺ said about them, Allah glanced at the participants of Badr and said, "Do as you please, for I have indeed forgiven you." May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instill love for these great personalities in our hearts and grant us the ability to follow in their footsteps and thereby also become of those regarding whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has declared His eternal pleasure.